What's good, my 1v1 me fam? Your uncle HK aka HomieKirk is back with another video today, and in today's video I will be giving my early predictions on the top 8 teams that I think will be making it to the season 0.5 playoffs that is held on May 19th for our 2v2 My Player League season. Now, if y'all don't know, the top 8 teams out of the 18 teams in our league make it to the playoffs. 10 teams that don't make it out of the 18 have to go back to the draft, redraft for a whole new teammate going into season 1. The 8 teams that make it, they have a chance to either keep their teammate or drop them going into the next season if they wanted to redraft. They didn't like the way their season went with their teammate. But if you win it all, you win $1,000 cash prize, and you have to stick with your teammate to see if you can build a dynasty for future seasons to come. Now, we're only in week 1 now. I want to give my early predictions on the 8 teams I think that are going to make it, and then my 2 sleeper teams, and then we'll revisit this at the end of the season. Okay, now my first team on the list, you know what I'm saying, Team Chad Benz. Team Chad Benz I think is a lock to make the playoffs. Made playoffs last season, barely, but that's just because the King of the Hill ladder, you know what I'm saying, and they were out because of their scheduling, but they made it back in last minute and did their thing. Their playoffs didn't go the way they wanted to, but I think they'll have a revenge season this season and do very good. So I think they'll make it to the playoffs off the strength that they're a good team. They went 31-13 last season, and they had the 6th hardest schedule. Now, the second team that I predict will make the May 19 playoffs is Team Takeover Season. They was a hell of a team last season. Team Takeover Season, OC Gritty, looked very nice. They went on an 8-game winning streak entering the playoffs and continued that win streak, went on 9. I think the lights were too bright for Takeover Season OC Gritty. They got into the second round, the semifinals, and the lights were just way too bright. They got 2-0 swept by Team Streaky. This season, I think Takeover Season and OC Gritty will bounce back something crazy. Okay, they were a very nice team. They looked like the favorite to win it all, if not Chad Benz. So I got them winning this, going to the playoffs this season and making a run, maybe even winning it all. Third team, obviously Team Blix. You know what I'm saying, Blix is one of the best defenders in the league. He has Shane X. They stayed together. The thing that I haven't said about these 3 teams, they all stay together. They didn't redraft, get a new teammate, so they're building off the chemistry and the strength of last season, which I think will make Team Blix and Shane X stronger. I feel like they'll just learn off the mistakes they made last season. Their playoff run ended short last season. They got first rounded by Streaky, but I don't think it's going to be like that in season 0.5 playoffs, and I think they're definitely a lock to make it. The next team that I think is a lock for playoffs this season on May 19th is Team Drew DF. I think his team upgraded getting cash out, and he was very good last season. He was 21-14 last season with the fourth best record. He didn't have that hard of a strength of schedule. He had the 11th hardest strength of schedule out of the 18 teams, but he just didn't make the playoffs because of scheduling. All the other teams basically pushed him out, and he didn't have a fighting chance. Cash out's availability is available at all times, so I think he's going to schedule games all the way up into the last point in that last day, and he's going to secure a spot because when he's at home, he is probably the best guard on the app. Drew is probably the best guard on the app when he's at home, offensively wise. All right, offensively wise. All right, y'all, the next team that I got making the playoffs on May 19th is Team 2Tac. 2Tac improved getting D-Nail, dropping cash out this season. 2Tac said they got chemistry there. They played in 2K20 and in previous 2Ks, and they're just building off the strength of that chemistry. They're reuniting, and they're going to try to make a run. 2Tac literally backpacked cash out last year to the playoffs. They was number 2 seed. Made it to the first round of the playoffs. Although they got beat in the first round, they still could have won. He had a bad game 3, but I feel like with Dino, he done upgraded, and he's gonna make another playoff run this season. Next team might be a little surprise one, but Team A Cardi. I think Cardi has something to prove. He thought about retiring guard, going to center, but he saw Jay Bullen there. Jay Bullen's a really nice center. I watched him in his debut on day 1, week 1. He looked very nice, and he wasn't even on a 2 center build. So once he makes that 2 center build, him and Cardi lab up, I think they'll be really scary, and I think they'll make that playoff push and get in there, especially with Jay Bullen. Once Jay Bullen gets down the 2s, just the little nitpicks, because Jay Bullen's really, he's good already. He just needs to get the little nitpicks on the 2s down. Next team I got making the playoffs is our 7th team. It's Team Toxic. Tox and Draco retained each other. I think they're just going to build off, like I said, the strength of last season. I think a lot of these teams that are just building off the strength of last season have a really high chance because they played with each other. They know their tendencies. They don't have to get to know each other of how they play and what to not to do. You know what I'm saying? So Draco and Tox, they was first in the very last week before the playoffs last season, but they dropped out. They got kicked out basically because all the other teams started winning, pushing them out, and they didn't have another fighting chance. And I think they just want to come back with a redemption this season. They stick with each other. I think it might be the last season. If they don't make a good push, it might split up going into season 1, but I think they'll make it to the playoffs. I don't know about going super far. We'll just have to see how that plays out. All right, the 8th team that I think is going to make the playoffs I got Team Quickster. Quickster is one of the best defenders in the league. It's like him and Blix. They're kind of interchangeable on defense, and Blixter's offense is really good. It's not bad as well. Quickster and Blix are basically kind of like the same player, I feel like, in a sense. But Quickster, he's naturally a lockdown, plays lock on the threes. That's where he came from. Came and adapted to the tools, and he's really good. He got good defense. And he's with dribbling. Dribbling's not a bad center. Might even be an upgrade from Papa Snagger. So I think once they get accustomed and adapted to each other, get that team chemistry down, they will be a force to reckon with at the end of the season. All right. And then, you know, I always like to give my 2 sleeper teams. Like, I like to give 2 sleeper teams that could possibly be interchangeable with one of the 8. And the one is 2K Twins. I think they, you know, they made the playoffs in season 0. I feel like they can always make that run. They got good chemistry. They're sitting literally right next to each other. They're twins. They've been with each other forever. I think they could always make a playoff run. They're very, very highly skilled players when it comes to 2K. And we seen them in the playoffs last season. So we can never count them out. And another person I can never count out is Team Streaky. Although RC is moved to West servers, so he's going to be a little delayed, I just can never count out Streaky for some reason. I said it last season and he made it all the way to the finals, even though I didn't think he was going to be a good team. He's one of those players I never can count out because he always seems to prove me wrong. All right, that's my top 8 teams that I think will make the playoffs come May 19th. Like I said, $1,000 cash prize for the winner. Y'all don't want to miss out on it. Enjoy this 5-week season. It's gonna go by super quick. Then we're gonna be in playoffs. And man, you can watch all the action on the 1v1me app. Go download the 1v1me app. Watch all the action live in the app while staking on the matches and talking to other stakers in the match chat as the match is going on. Appreciate and love every single one of y'all. It's been your boy, everybody's favorite uncle in the 1v1me community, your Uncle HK. I'm out of here.